Welcome to the Business Finance Bulletin, episode 147. Latest Business Finance Bulletin with me, Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services, the commercial finance expert. In this bulletin, asset finance is booming, holding stock and the impact it has on cash flow, and late payment, more needs to be done. Let's start this bulletin on a high with some really good positive news from the asset finance sector that it is booming. News from the Finance and Leasing Association has reported that its members are saying that in September 2016 compared to September 2015, there's been a 12% increase in the amount of money lent out. Now, asset finance is a great way in order to purchase plant and equipment, vehicles and business equipment generally. Very much a different process than getting a bank loan, quicker, easier, and mainly because the asset finance company is focused on the asset itself as opposed to looking at the whole business. Now, the Finance and Leasing Association have also looked quarter on quarter. So quarter 3 2016 compared to quarter 3 2015 also saw a 12% increase in the amount of business being done. Now you compare that to the banking sector, where bank loans are increasing anywhere between 0.5% to 1% per annum. A very big difference. So what are businesses buying? What are they financing via asset finance? Well, they took a look at the underlying transactions, and September 2016 compared to 2015, commercial vehicles up 5%. Purchase of plant and equipment, that's up 16%, and purchase of business equipment generally, that's up 29%. So you can see that there seems to be very little evidence of a fear of investment post-Brexit. Now, I've mentioned in previous bulletins, there are signs coming out that business owners are a little bit more wary now about business investment, but certainly up to the end of September, those concerns were not in evidence. So if you want to know more about how asset finance could work for you, by all means, just drop us an email, info@businessloanservices.co.uk, and we'd be happy to guide you through the process. I'm sure you've heard that old saying, cash is king. Well, it really is. Cash really does make a business succeed. It is the lifeblood of any successful business. An interesting survey's come out from the Asset-Based Finance Association, and they've worked out that on average, all of these small businesses in the UK are holding approximately £5 billion worth of unsold stock. Yes, that's money tied up on shelves, doing nothing, that should be in your bank account, helping to fund new research and development, new marketing, recruitment of staff. So having too much stock really can hold a business back. And the association reckons that with a turnover in total from small businesses across the UK of about £81 billion, that unsold stock represents about 16% of turnover. And that's a lot of money stuck dead on the shelves. So first of all, how can you identify whether you have a stock problem? Well, first of all, it may be just that your cash flow is poor and you can look around your warehouse or in your shop and realize that you're carrying dead stock. But one useful red flag is just to go back through your financial statements and calculate what's called a stock turnover ratio, and it will help flag up any potential areas of concern. Now, we've done a special video about this quite a few months ago. It's called the stock turnover ratio, and in this video I show how to calculate that ratio and also what actions you can take in order to make sure that you stop this problem. So go and have a look at that video. I've put a link in the description box below, and you'll also find it on our blog as well. So do take care of making sure that you're not carrying too much stock. It can strangle your business. Continuing with the theme of cash flow, another business practice that can severely impact upon cash flow is, of course, late payment. Now, we've mentioned this in many bulletins. The reason being, it is so important to manage late payment correctly in order to make sure that your business doesn't suffer from a cash flow crisis. Well, the Federation of Small Businesses just released a new report called Time to Act, the economic impact of poor payment practice. And there they've highlighted that approximately 30% of businesses say that they they suffer from late payment. But more importantly, 37% of them say that it does have a negative impact on cash flow. Well, what does the Federation of Small Businesses want people to do? Well, first of all, it is calling upon the government to fulfill its promise of appointing a small business commissioner. Now, 18 months ago, the government said, late payment is a big problem. We need to sort this out, and we're going to put a small business commissioner in place who will name and shame businesses who practice poor payment practices. But as I mentioned a couple of bulletins ago, that commissioner has yet to be appointed. So the FSB is saying to the government, come on, be serious. Small businesses need firm action, especially where larger firms are concerned, when they are just riding roughshod over small businesses. So more emphasis and focus from the government and more action. They want more naming and shaming, and there's also the prompt payment code, and they want more businesses to sign up to this and for that prompt payment code to have more teeth as regards naming and shaming and kicking a few people out if they abuse the prompt payment code. So there's quite a few things that the FSB want people to do, but of course action starts at home. I've mentioned in previous bulletins, it's really down to you to make sure that you're very clear with your customer what your terms are and how important cash flow is to you, and we should not be ashamed of picking up the phone and chasing for payment which is due to us. So late payment, make sure it doesn't happen to you. Well, that's it for another bulletin, and as ever, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and a share. It all helps. Don't forget, we also got a podcast version available on iTunes, SoundCloud and Stitcher. Just go along to those channels and search for Business Finance Bulletin. And if you are listening on the podcast version, pop along to my YouTube channel, go to YouTube and search for Rob Warlow. And there you will find this bulletin together with other bulletins and a host of other videos on raising finance and dealing with banks. Well, that's it for this bulletin. Thanks very much for being with me. Look forward to being with you again next time. Bye-bye now.